Okay. I want to talk about a topic that is closer to my heart today. I was just reading how to avoid a climate disaster, and I usually make those 1 minute short clips on what I learned. But today I was reading the agriculture chapter, and I want to have a longer discussion here. Just because when I was reading this part, it got me kind of excited, and I want to share that. And also I want to share where I currently am. I found this place here. I just climbed up. I came here with my scooter. It's pretty sweet. Oh no, it's way too bright. And now my face starts to burn from the sun, so maybe I should leave again. But anyhow, I was reading that chapter, and he was talking about, the impacts of agriculture on our climate. And then I was constantly wondering, but Bill, what about just going vegan? And then he mentioned exactly that. He mentioned exactly, well, a hardcore vegan would say, well, just don't produce any livestock anymore. Problem solved. Right? And to this he answered that that's just not gonna work, because meat just plays too big of a role in our society. It's too big of a part of our culture that we can just get rid of meat. And okay, I agree with that. I mean, I also do like my meat sometimes, say once a year. We need to reduce how much we eat of it though. Okay, that he agrees with. Good. But the chapter the part that really got me excited is when he was talking about new technologies on how we get to our meat. Because, I don't even want to go into the depth of why producing meat is not good for the environment. And yes, it comes down to cows farting and pooping, because all that methane and other gases are really bad, much worse than CO2. And yeah, so the real livestock is not ideal, especially that we are now producing so much of it, and as people get richer, they want more meat and milk, and so we will produce much more of that. One thing that I learned though is that it's actually only 6 times more calories that you need to put in for a cow to produce 1 calorie from the cow. I thought that would be way worse. For chicken it's just 2 calories you need to put in to get 1 out. I thought that would be worse. So I learned something there. But nevertheless, it's still not super efficient. Can't just eat all the calories yourself. But to finally get down to the thing that got me excited are those companies who produce like fake meat. And not just the Beyond Meat kind of meat where they produce it plant-based, but where they actually grow meat in the laboratory. That to me seems like a great idea. I'm imagining this 3D printed meat, but no, they actually just grow it based from some cells from animals, and then they grow those. So it's literally the same cells. It's the same. It's still fake meat in a way that no animal had to die for it, and it's no animal had to fart and poop. That's the important thing, for me at least. Also from a animal rights perspective, it's better if they're not kept in cages and stuff. But that's interesting, and it's gonna take a few more years for that to come out, and it's facing regulatory challenges because state might also not want that you sell your fake meat because, I don't know, reputation or whatever. So we just need to have a debate if that is something that we want. Do we want to grow meat in laboratory? Personally, my answer is yes, I do want that. And yeah, it's interesting, and we're gonna it's definitely coming. It's not the biggest contributor to climate change, but it's certainly one of the big ones. It's the third chapter in the book, as the third biggest issue, I think, after building stuff and getting electricity. Speaking of building stuff, do you see that thing? I find it fascinating what we can build, but all that steel and concrete that thing just sinks into the sea there is crazy. If you realize how much emissions that costs to produce that, and then to transport that, and then to build it as it is there, it's ridiculous. So yeah, in a way, this book makes me enjoy life less, in the sense that I see the negative things everywhere, because everything we build, all the bridges, I find them fascinating. The bridge to Krk, the island, I find it fascinating that we can do that. But the amount of concrete that had to sink into this, and the amount of emissions we caused because of it, is ridiculous. Anyhow, in my lifetime, it's just gonna get worse. But I'm worrying about the lifetimes of my children and grandchildren, because I don't want to leave the planet like in flames. And then personally, I'm also thinking, well, the greenhouse gases is all just a thing that it keeps the warm inside the planet. Can't we just put a huge mirror up in the sky and reflect the light out as we need? But that is a project that I don't think we will be able to deploy in time. We might deploy it at some point. There are movies about that. But realistically, no. Although, I don't know, maybe SpaceX does some shit like that. I could totally see Elon pull some shit like that off. But anyhow, also how much steel and fuels he uses for his rockets. I mean, it's always technology, we want to get ahead. Because I also don't want to just live in the woods. Although it's a fair argument. If everybody would just live in nature and live from what nature offers us, we could also live. It's just that some people want to take opportunity and make it easier for themselves and grow rich or whatever, have yachts and stuff, and that comes at the expense of dragging resources somewhere else. And so I don't see it necessarily as a bad thing, even though lately I'm not the biggest fan of capitalism either, but that's a whole different discussion that I really don't want to have today. I just wanted to say I like that we might be able to produce meat in a lab sometime this decade. Yeah, that's it. And there's more to come. Smart people are working to make the world better, to reduce our emissions, but other people just don't care and make it harder for us or them. So yeah, that is where we are. The book is generally very positive and very hopeful, being like, yes, we can do it. And sometimes I believe it, and I should just choose to believe it. Yes, we can do it. We just need to do it. And with that, I wish freedom and health to you. Freedom and health. And I hope you also enjoy your life and eat your fake meat. Or no meat at all. And I shall see you tomorrow. Now, if you excuse me, after filming another TikTok, I shall go back inside because my face is burning. It's so nice and warm though, finally, spring is here.